The story about the Online Safety Act is about a law written with the heart in the right place but the mind elsewhere entirely. And the Online Safety Act now, this legislative behemoth, hailed as a digital seatbelt, was intended to protect the vulnerable, but in its haste, its vagueness, its ambition, it's morphed into something else entirely, a threat to privacy, a threat to editorial independence, and to the very principle of open communication. And now, as of this week, it faces its first legal reckoning at the hands of Wikipedia, of all sites, of all platforms. Let's remind ourselves of the government's narrative. If you go all the way back to Nadine Dorries in her florid prose from, oh gosh, two or 3 years ago, called the Act one of the most important things she's ever worked on. A response to teenage suicides, online radicalisation and corporate irresponsibility. The aim was to make Britain the safest place in the world to go online, but safety and control are not the same thing. Noble intentions cannot justify shoddy execution. And over 4 prime ministers, from Boris to Rishi to Keir, I'm not mentioning the other one, the bill has progressed like a cancer. Over 250 pages long, introducing criminal penalties, content scanning, fines up to £18 million and 10% of global turnover, and new powers to monitor what we say, how we say it, whether it might hurt someone's feelings, non-trivially, of course. And what began as protection for children has become an experiment in controlling speech itself. And, I'm sure, just as Russia looked over the shoulder of Mrs. Thatcher at the Clause 28, so too it's looking at this, because this is a recipe for tyranny. And the Wikipedia Foundation this week have filed for a judicial review, because the Online Safety Act's categorization regulations, which determine which sites face the harshest obligations, risk putting Wikipedia in Category 1 alongside YouTube and Facebook, and this would force Wikipedia to verify user identities, exposing anonymous editors to harassment, lawsuits, and arrest in authoritarian regimes. It would also allow any user to block edits from unverified contributors, a change that would empower trolls and paralyze the very system that keeps Wikipedia functional. In essence, the government wants Wikipedia to be more like Facebook, while failing to understand that it's not. And the Wikipedia case is only the beginning. Experts anticipate a cascade of judicial challenges. The Act is vast and ambiguous because it's been drafted by a series of twits. It criminalises false communications that cause non-trivial psychological harm. Well, what is that? It's a legal concept worryingly close to offending someone. Worse still, the law has extraterritorial reach. A user in the US can now theoretically be prosecuted in the UK for sharing a meme, which is absurd, despite enjoying stronger First Amendment protections at home in the US. This isn't just legally shaky, it's globally reckless. And if enforcement means fining Meta £10 billion, or breaking WhatsApp encryption for 98% of users outside the UK. Let's be frank, the UK doesn't have that leverage. We are a £3 trillion economy trying to tame trillion-dollar tech giants with legislation they can outlawyer in their sleep. This act, like so many others from a revolving door of digital ministers, Nadine Dorries, Michelle Donnellan, Lisa Nandy, and going back to Matt Hancock, is a symptom of a deeper malaise, legislating at speed with shifting aims under pressure to do something, anything, But something isn't always better than nothing. And the real gaping wound isn't a lack of regulation, it's a lack of education. Children need media literacy, not just censorship. They need their phones in the classroom so they can learn what is the best use of those phones. Adults need resilient public discourse, not criminalization of disagreement. Technology changes by the week, laws don't. Trying to legislate against disinformation without equipping citizens to discern truth is like giving someone a fire extinguisher with no training about how to use it. The Online Safety Act is an earnest attempt to bring order to chaos, but its complexity, its overreach, its crude categorization threaten to undermine privacy, editorial independence, and basic freedoms. And when it comes to the crunch, the law, the implementation of the law has no bite beyond the channel, and yet uh, it pretends it does. Wikipedia is merely the canary in the coal mine. Bad laws, bad laws are something that appear again and again and again. In my own life, I've seen a series of bad laws, and I would start by putting fox hunting at the top. And the Online Safety Act comes very, very, very quickly after that one. I don't think it's going to be possible to prosecute people under the Online Safety Act, or if it is, it's going to be a show trial and an absurdity. I think what it's going to do is seriously damage our internet, and it's going to provide a sort of nonsense environment which makes us look very much like a tyrannical regime. And and I know, for example, in China and in Russia, there is control over the internet, and people use a VPN. I've been in countries where Telegram isn't accessible at all, and people use a VPN. And this is madness. If that's the way you get round it, this law has no teeth, because the actions were done with a VPN in Serbia, not in Britain. So this is the nonsense, and good intentions are the way to hell.